Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hilary, and if you're new here, I share quilting, sewing, and crafting tips, tricks, and tutorials. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's something that I haven't done before, and it is a floss tube. If you are unfamiliar with what a floss tube is, it is a deep dive essentially into my current cross stitch whips, projects, finishes, plans, etc. I've done a few videos in the past that I labeled as floss tubes, but they weren't exactly a floss tube because they didn't follow like the typical format of a floss tube. So this one I'm going to consider like my first floss tube because I've watched enough floss tube now to know the format, like what people generally do. And I will try to follow that. I'll probably mess up, let's be honest, I'm human. But we'll see where this takes us. We'll see where it goes. If you are new here, I have been cross stitching since I was 8 years old. It's one of the like first textile arts that I learned from my grandmother, my grandma Marie, who is 100 years old. I love her so much. Very blessed that she introduced me to this crafty textile world because literally like this would not exist if it wasn't for her. So I've been cross stitching since I was 8 years old, on and off. It's definitely always been a hobby that I come back to, and it wasn't until recently when I saw a video from Cross Stitch the Globe, and it was their most expensive patterns and most expensive kits videos, which I don't own any of the most expensive patterns, but I do have a couple of the kits, specifically like those Thomas Kincaid Disney kits. I have a handful of those that I bought back in the day that I haven't stitched yet. But yeah, so those, watching their videos brought me into this like floss tubey world, and I like dove headfirst into it and have really like since then become more invigorated by cross stitch. I've always loved cross stitch over the years. Like I said, it was my first like textile hobby. And like I teach, I don't know why I did air quotes. I recently taught like an intro to cross stitching class. So like cross stitch has always been part of my life, but finding their videos and like diving into the floss tube world, it like it ignited something new in me. And so I'm really excited by cross stitch again. Not to say like I'm giving up quilting. I have too much fabric to give up quilting. But it's been fun to like kind of rekindle that love and find focus in something that used to be just like a behind the scenes, like on the side hobby. All right, so that was a little bit about myself. So let's go ahead and get started. I clearly, since this is my first like real floss tube, from what I've seen on other floss tubes, you start with FFOs, which are fully finished objects or finely finished objects. And since this is my first official floss tube, I have a few of them. No guarantees that every like few weeks when I try and get a floss tube out, if I'll have other FFOs. But this first one, I have 3 of them. So my first FFO, and I love this one because it was like an instant FFO. As soon as I finished the stitching, it was done. And it's wrinkled because I've been using it. But it says the only thing holding my shit together is this tote bag. The tote and the pattern, I got them both from Subversive Cross Stitch. It's really neat because like, if you can see, like the Aida is a part of the bag itself. Like it's completely woven in. Here's what the inside looks like. It was difficult to stitch on because it's like you had to get into the bag, and I generally stitch in hand, but there are times that I really needed to use a hoop because it was just awkward to hold because it's a tote bag, you know. I did not use the called for colors at all. The colors it calls for are like a cornflower blue and red, 2 different reds. But I used pink, and then for the border I used a pink and a purple, and the blue I used is DMC 995, which I think is one of my favorite DMC blues because it's just so bright and beautiful. But yeah, this one was really fun. It adequately describes the state of my life at times. And it's really cool because I keep a lot of whips in this bag, because like I'll put them in this bag and I'll carry them around the house wherever I'm stitching. So it's pretty cool. So that is my first FFO. My next one I did is this one, this Hello Summer. Oh, this is hard to, like, I'm watching you on my watch to make sure I have it all together. And there we go, Hello Summer. The pattern is by It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop. I used some of the called for colors, not all of them. I did a combination of DMC and Aurifloss, and then the fabric I ice-dyed myself with a group of friends a couple summers ago. It's just a piece, it was a scrap of 14 count Aida that we ice-dyed, and I finished it on this this whiteboard I got from Walmart, of all places. I was pleasantly surprised that my Walmart has like a decent selection of like crafty finishing items like this. There's this size, which I think is like a 8 by 10, if I have to guesstimate the size. Yeah, it looks like 8 by 10. There's this size and then a bigger size, and they had some other stuff. So it's really cool. I finished it on this. It's not like finished, it's definitely just washi taped on here, because I kind of, and I've seen it before, where you can like put magnets on the board and then magnets on the back of the piece, and then you can swap it out with other finishes. And so I think I want to try that with this, but I'm not like fully confident on how to do that yet. So for now, it's just washi taped. But that's Hello Summer from It's So Emma. And then my final FFO that I have, I just finished a couple weeks ago, or last week, a couple weeks ago, my concept of time. It's Firework Kisses by Primrose Cottage Stitches. This one, I picked up the pattern from, I'm blanking on it now, Stitches Unlimited, when I was in Pennsylvania in June visiting my brother, and my parents were there too. My mom and I went to Stitches Unlimited, which is in Lancaster area. Yes? Yeah. Lancaster. Really cute shop. I picked up this pattern. And the only called for floss I used was the red, the DMC 321. And then other than that, I just pulled some. I didn't have the other called for colors in my floss stash. So I just pulled some that I thought looked nice. And I think it turned out really well. And then I did the finishing. This is like finished. It's not coming off of here. I had this wooden board that I had actually purchased when I purchased the whiteboard for the Hello Summer finishing thing. But I ended up not using it, so I had that just amongst my crafty things. And then this is just like, I put fabric on like a cardboard backing board, like acid-free board for like photo finishing. And same thing with this, I just secured it and honestly 100% made it up as I went. But I think it turned out really cute, and it's done, which is awesome. So that is my last FFO. Put that to the side, trying to stay organized. Now, after FFOs, it's any finishes, which a finish is just something you finished stitching. And I know you probably know this, but I'm also saying it out loud to remind myself. So one thing that I finished stitching, which I only had like this bottom half of the teacup left, but I recently finished this Merry Little Christmas stitch. This was a mystery stitch along from Fat Quarter Shop last year. I used all of the called for threads, which is Classic Colorworks, and the called for fabric as well, which I believe is a Zweigart, but I should have looked it up and I didn't. But these, I used all the called for. I think it turned out really, really cute. Like I said, I only had like the bottom half of this teacup to finish for it to be like an actual finish. and I think it turned out really cute. So now I need to like finish it in time for Christmas, which I should be able to do since it is July. Fingers crossed. All right, now we're going to go through my whips. I am generally a person, if you've been following me for a while on Instagram, around here, I like whips. I like starting projects. I don't always finish projects. The fact that I have so many finishes right now, minor miracle. I love starting new things. So I have like a decent sized stack of whips. I could definitely pull out more. The whips I'm going to show today are projects that I have stitched on in the past few weeks and made progress on. And so the first one I have, let me pull it out. It lives in this super cute Mopsy, well, the threads and stuff live in this super cute Mopsy bag that I got at a needlepoint store in Raleigh. Super cute. So the first one I have is this one. It is Past, Present, Forever. It's an old Art of Disney kit that I bought at the Magic Kingdom at Disney. Probably I want to say in like 2007-ish. Like it was a while ago that I bought this kit. I started it several years ago. Like I don't want to say I started it a decade ago, but there's definitely the potential. So this is, I have it on this big frame. This is the progress I've made. Let me see if I can adjust some things to set this down for a second. So I bought this frame a few months ago to mount it on the scroll frame because it is so big. You can kind of see here like the indentation from where I tried to stitch in a hoop. So all of this progress, like this section here, I did several years ago. And then I recently did all this yellow and then started the trees over here on this side. Because this one is so large, I don't, hold on, I'll put it over here. I don't bring it out as often as I would like to, just because like it's an ordeal to get set up with that one. But I really love it. I have several of these like Art of Disney kits. The suggested frame size is 18 by 24 and I think it finishes at like 16 by 19. So it's a big piece. It's almost full coverage. You don't have full coverage in like the clouds, but everything else, as you can see, is full coverage. So I know this is like going to be a labor of love, going to take me some time. But I definitely think it's worth it. I love this project. I'm a Disney adult, as many of you know. So it's definitely a favorite of mine. And it has beading, which I've never done before, so that will be a fun challenge. And all the stuff lives in this super fun, glittery project bag. Okay, my next whip, and I didn't even take this out of the hoop because I was working on it last night and I like stopped mid stitch. But this is my progress on it. This is the another stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop. I do a lot with Fat Quarter Shop. I joined their like blogger team a long time ago. So every now and then when they're looking for like stitchers or quilters to do projects, I'm on their list of people. So I joined their list of people to do this. It's the Bonnie and Camille, I want to say it's called Shine Bright. What's it called? Shine On. Is the Shine Bright Sampler Stitch Along. And essentially it is this quilt, but in a cross stitch. And the chart, I don't want to show the chart, but it's cute. So those are the original colors that it was stitched in. And for the stitch along, it has, I went with the Aurifloss colors. And so here's just a few of them. So the Aurifloss, different colors. It's cute. I'm very behind. It started last November and I had a lot of things going on, and then I lost the kit with like the fabric and the floss, and I finally found it and I've gotten started. I'm trying to catch up. I'm curious to see if I can catch up before the stitch along ends. We'll call this one a start along because I started Not sure if I'll finish, but it's cute. It's worked on this 25 count, I believe it's 25 count even weave, and that's the progress I've done so far. It's pretty cute. This is I've been watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders documentary on Netflix and stitching on this one, so I like that. And it just lives in an Amazon project bag for now. Okay, my next whip is the current Frosted Pumpkin Stitch Along, Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Arctic Animals Stitch Along. One, I don't have a physical pattern, I just have the pattern in markup. But this is the progress I have so far, and I'm not sure if you can see, I had stitched his little head. Like I stitched his head and then I counted to like stitch something else, and then when it came to connect his body to the rest of his head, I was an entire row off. And I probably potentially could have made it work and like connected his head and just dealt with it being a row off, but in my brain it bothered me. So I unpicked his entire head. And this one has been in timeout since then. They just released clue number 3 and this is clue number 1. So this one's in timeout for the time being until I muster up the will to get back to it. It lives in this project bag that I made a while ago. The pattern is from, and I don't remember the name of the book, but the designer is Anila Hui. The pattern is in her book that I can't remember the name of, but I will figure it out and link it down below. And then I'm using all of the called for DMC and of course the fancy floss that glows in the dark. And it just lives in this little bag. Making a pile back here. My next whip is, I'm gonna take it out of the sleeve because it'll be hard to see. It's this Dimensions kit, Dolphin Trio. I actually grabbed this at a antique store recently for $4. My son really likes dolphins and like marine animals, and this was only $4, and it's a 1999 Dimensions kit. And so I snagged this because it was cute. $4, that's a pretty good deal. It had all the supplies and everything in it. And I thought it was cool. It has, oh here, let me pull it out. I'm gonna put it back. But if you can see, it has a lot of like half stitches and stuff amongst the design, which is pretty cool. I know they can kind of be a pain to do like half stitches, but it's been a fun stitch, kind of. This one, the chart is not great. A lot of this, like, it's a black and white chart with some of the symbols are red, and a lot of the symbols are really hard to see. And so it's been slow going because it's just hard to read the chart. This is my progress so far. It's hard to tell. This is more of like, I keep checking. Y'all are on my watch, so like this is how I make sure I'm like in frame like I'm supposed to be. This is a better like look at the color of it. It's a pale like cornflower blue. When I bring it up here, it just gets washed out. But the color is really nice. This Ada, it is thick. It's not like thick, but it's like really, really stiff. It does have some like staining spots on it because it is like, it's from 1999. But I don't know, I just wanted to use the stuff that was included in the kit. I know some people like take vintage kits, but then they don't use the supplies, they like kit it up separately, which I've heard of people doing. But this one, I just opened the kit and started stitching. I bought it while I was in Pennsylvania, and so I started stitching it in Pennsylvania because why not? Like I said, I like to start things. But yeah, I'm making this for my son. It's coming along slowly but surely. None of the floss was sorted, like it was all in a jumbled ball when I first got it, and then it has like all the color numbers and names here. And then on the, I don't want to show, I don't want to show you the chart, but like on the key, it doesn't have the color names. It just has the numbers. I'm not sure if you can see that. But yeah, it just has the numbers and then the symbol, which is another, like, makes it difficult to stitch. And so I made myself a little like floss sorter that I just like wrote the number and then the name. I wrote the number and then wrapped the fabric around this piece of cardboard that's from a cereal box. But that's helped me kind of keep it more organized, because this one is definitely, it's not like a difficult stitch, but because the chart is difficult to read and then there's no color names, it's just numbers, it's like a weird difficult. It's not difficult, it's just annoying difficult. But it's small. It's only 5 by 7, so hopefully it should like stitch up quickly because it's a smaller size. And my last whip is another Fat Quarter Shop one. This is the Star of Wonder stitch along. Do I have my floss organized, or is it a mess? No, it's a mess. This is the Star of Wonder stitch along that is currently going on with Fat Quarter Shop. Again, this is like, it's like a creamy, I think the name of this is a white chocolate Ada, and I don't remember the brand, but I'll link it down below. I use the called for Ada, the called for floss, and they just released clue number 3 today. And so clue number 3 is the little green leaves all around. These corners were clue number 2, and then the border was clue number 1. So clue 3 just came out today, and that's what it looks like. It is very cute. And then I am keeping it, it lives in this one I'm stitching in hand, so I don't have a hoop for it. But it lives in this project bag that I made using, I got it. It lives in this project bag I made. There's also a coordinating quilt along going along at the same time that uses this fabric, and so I made this little project bag for it to live in. And I have my needle minder and my scissors in there getting crazy. But yeah, that's my project bag. So that was my last whip. I have a little bit of haul, not a lot. If you have been around the channel for a little while, you might have seen my my no buy year video. I would like to say that I've been really successful with my no buy year. I have not. I know this about myself. I know that I use shopping as like a pick me up. And so it's definitely a process going from that type of personality to not buying anything. It's a hard transition, and I'm open about that, and I know that it's something I struggle with. I'm thankful I have a good support system around me that is supporting me, helping me, like reminding me, like, is it a want or a need type thing. So I do have a little bit of haul because nobody's perfect. But it's just a few kits that I got while I was in Pennsylvania. One of them is, I just got it from Joann's, but it was on clearance for like $10. I've wanted this kit for a while. I thought it was really cute. I like to sew and I love vintage sewing patterns. So this is one I got just at Joann's. It's still available. You can find it at Joann's or Amazon, stuff like that. And then the next few, including this one, so this pattern and the next 3 I'm going to show all came from the same antique store in Pennsylvania. And they were like $4 to $6 a piece, which is a pretty good deal on vintage kits. This one is a 1996. What is the name? It's called Quilt Cuddlers, and it's really cute. It's got some little bears, and they have a little that shoe fly quilt in the background. My youngest son really loves bears, and so I grabbed this. These 3 kits, they all have bears because my son loves bears. But it has all the included floss and everything in the Ada. I haven't opened it. It's still sealed, There's like a tear in it. But it's still sealed, so I haven't opened it yet to see like the state of things, but I thought that one was really cute. This next one is in rough shape. This one is a 1998 Janlin kit. It is called Potting Shed Bear. And I just noticed, I think, oh no, the 8 is in there. I was like, I think the 8 is missing, but it's between the picture and the cardboard. But that's it, Potting Shed Bear. It's hard to see because it's so like, there's tape on the front. But it's got all the floss, and the Ada is in there. I checked, it's there. And then the last one is, this one I really have to check and make sure it's all here because it's in a Ziploc bag. But I thought it was really cute. It's a stocking, and it's a DesignWorks Crafts. It doesn't have a year on this paper, but it might have a year on the chart and stuff. But again, it's little bears. Santa, dressed up as Santa. Super cute. And I think, yeah, we got Ada. We got Floss. It looks like we have everything. It's a design by Joan Elliott. But yeah, so I thought those were really cute. These 3 big ones, these 3 bear ones were $6 a piece, which is a pretty good deal. And then, like I said, this one was $4. I always like, when I go antique shopping or like thrifting with my mom, I always like to have a plan of what we're looking for. She loves dishes. My mom, she cannot be trusted around like dishes, glassware of any kind, because she loves it. She can't be trusted. And then whenever we go thrifting, I like to look for like vintage textiles or like these vintage cross-stitch kits. Some fun stuff like that. It's just, I feel like when you have a plan, when you go antique shopping or thrifting and stuff, it's easier to spot things versus like you walk into an antique mall and like you don't have any idea of what you're looking for, and it's stuff everywhere. It's fun. I love antiquing. Anyway, but yeah, so I guess my plans is another thing. That was haul. And plans for the next few weeks, definitely keeping up with the Star of Wonder stitch along. I'm really proud of myself. I am keeping up. I am up to date. I recently started using Markup, the app on your iPad that you can like put your patterns into, and it's very satisfying to like mark off the stitches you've stitched and to see the percentage of how much you've done. It's very satisfying to me. So that pattern's in Markup, so it's fun to like watch my progress. The next few clues come out. They always come out on Tuesdays. So today's Tuesday, clue number 3 came out. Next week on Tuesday, clue number 4, and then clue number 5 the following week. And so you'll have all the clues before the end of July for Christmas and July stitching. So plan to keep up with that, finish that one up, decide how I'm going to fully finish it as well. And then I really want to get like a decent amount of stitching done in my past, present, forever project. This one, the big boy. Like I said, it is harder to stitch, but like I think I've kind of gotten a routine down with sitting on the couch and having my spot all set up and telling my family to leave me alone. So I get a decent amount done on that one. And my husband made a comment because like my office here is upstairs, and so like the kids are up here sometimes because their rooms are up here, the game room's up here. But I like come up here and I close my door. I'm in my zone. But my husband made a comment. I was downstairs stitching on the couch, and he's like, "You've been cross stitching a lot and you've been downstairs." I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "I really like it. You're closer to me." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, babe." So that was really cute. So I've been doing more stitching downstairs. Plus the kids have been downstairs a lot. That's where the Xbox is. And I feel like when I'm like cross stitching and stuff, it's easier for me to stop, like set that down and be done and to walk away, versus when I'm in here like quilting or sewing, because it is like, it's just in hand, and so I can set it down, help a kid, play with a kid, you know, do whatever needs to be done. So I've been doing a lot more cross stitching this summer for sure. So I want to work on that one, work on it would be great if I could finish this by the end of the year, but I am not holding my breath. not holding my breath on finishing that by the end of the year, because it is so large and it is full coverage, and there's so much thread changes and everything. It is an ordeal for sure. But maybe if I could get like 50% done with that by the end of the year, I think that would be amazing. And then I think I also want to try and get a decent amount stitched on this project as well, just because it's small, and like it always feels good to finish something. Like that dopamine hit of finishing something feels nice, and since this one is so small, I feel like that can be doable. But yeah, so I think that's everything. I hope I didn't miss any like key Flosstube themes. I should have like written myself notes. Now I know why Stephanie of Cross Stitch the Globe always has like notes that she refers back to, and I really need to do that. That's a great idea, Stephanie, because I don't. I'm like, yeah, I got everything. It's in my brain. I remember that, when I probably didn't remember that. But yeah, so those are my projects. Those are my plans. I'm going to try to film a Flosstube once a month for now. I'm gonna I don't want to commit to any sooner than that, just because like I don't know how this is going to go, you know. I do a lot more cross stitching during the summer, just because like it gets really hot in my office, and so being able to just sit downstairs on the couch and do some stitching and be creative in that way is much more enjoyable than being like up in my office and very hot. So once a month, that's what we're gonna go for now for Flosstube, and see where it goes from there. Thank y'all for watching. If you're new here, welcome. If you have made it this far in the video, then go ahead and leave a tomato. Is there a tomato emoji? Leave a tomato emoji. And if there's not a tomato emoji, the thread spool emoji. If you've made it this far, I'm not remembering if there's a tomato emoji right now. But yeah, if you made it this far, I'm glad you did. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the projects I shared. I'll try and link as much as possible down below in case there's anything that you're interested in finding and stitching along. And yep, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you next time.